I'm 74 years old, and I've spent more of my life in airports than in my own backyard than in my own backyard. I've watched the sun rise over the pyramids of Great Wall of China, felt the mist of Niagara Falls on my face, and stood quietly beneath the towering dome of St. Peter's Basilica. Travel has been my greatest test and my greatest joy, and sometimes my greatest test. And today, my friends, I want to speak to you not as an expert, not as a travel agent, not as a doctor, but as an old man who learned a few lessons the hard way. When you're young, travel feels like freedom. When you're older, travel is still freedom, but it comes with fine print. I used to believe that age was just a number. I still believe that in spirit, but the body keeps score. And after 70, travel changes. Not because we are weak, but because we must be wise. Let me tell you about the first danger I never saw coming. A few years ago, I took a long flight, 10 hours across the ocean. In my 40s, I would have slept like a baby, woken up and walked straight into a new adventure. But this time was different. My legs swelled, my back stiffened. I ignored it. Just old age, I said. By the second day, I could barely walk through the cobblestone streets. What I didn't understand then was how dangerous long immobility can be at our age. Blood circulation slows. Dehydration creeps in. A simple flight can turn into days of discomfort, or worse. After 70, our bodies don't bounce back overnight. They negotiate. They demand preparation. Now, whenever I travel, I move every hour. I stretch. I drink water like it's medicine, because at this age, it is. The second danger isn't physical. It's mental exhaustion. It's mental exhaustion. We seniors underestimate how draining travel logistics can be. Airport changes, gate confusion, security lines, foreign languages. I remember once landing in a massive airport in Tokyo, signs everywhere, screens flashing, announcements echoing. My heart raced. Not from excitement, but from overwhelm. When you're 30, confusion feels like adventure. When you're 70, it can feel like panic. Stress hits differently now. It spikes blood pressure. It clouds judgment. And when judgment is clouded, small mistakes happen. Missed medications, wrong train platforms, forgotten passports. Which brings me to the third danger, routine disruption. We know when to take our pills. We know what foods sit well in our stomachs. We know which chair supports our back just right. Travel shatters that rhythm. I once forgot my evening medication because I was distracted by a sunset cruise. Harmless, that's what I thought, until I woke up dizzy the next morning. After 70, routine is not boring. It's protection. Travel tempts us to abandon structure, late dinners, strange foods, irregular sleep. But our bodies at this age crave predictability. Every time we disrupt that pattern, we take a small risk. The fourth danger is one most seniors don't like to talk about: pride. Yes, pride. We don't want to admit we need assistance. We don't want to request a wheelchair at the airport. We don't want to ask for help lifting a suitcase. I used to insist on carrying my own luggage. I've done this my whole life, I'd say, until one day lifting that suitcase into an overhead bin strained my shoulder so badly that the rest of my trip was spent in pain. There is no shame in support, none. Hotels have elevators for a reason. Pride can quietly turn a joyful trip into a painful memory. And finally, the fifth danger, the most subtle of all, is elation in unfamiliar places. Travel after 70 can feel lonely in ways it never did before. Friends don't travel as much. Spouses may no longer be by our side. Families are busy. I remember sitting alone in a cafe, overseas, surrounded by laughter and languages I didn't understand, and feeling a wave of unexpected sadness. When you're older, unfamiliarity hits deeper. You crave connection more than sightseeing. Safety also becomes more personal. Scams target seniors. Crowded areas can be disorienting. Reaction time slow. Situational awareness must sharpen. But now listen carefully, because this is important. I am not telling you to stop traveling. No, there is something powerful about seeing the world after 70D. You see it with perspective. You're less rushed. You notice architecture, not just attractions. You sit longer, you listen more. Standing beneath the Eiffel Tower in Paris meant more to me at 72 than it would have at 32. Not because it changed, but because I had. But I prepare now. I choose direct flights when possible. I book aisle seats so I can move easily. I keep medications in my carry-on. I arrive a day early to rest before exploring. I buy travel insurance without hesitation. I inform my doctor before long trips. Preparation is not fear, it's wisdom. I walk daily before a big journey to build stamina. I pack lighter than I think I need. I research hospital locations near my destination, not because I expect trouble, but because peace of mind is priceless. And most importantly, I listen to my body. If I need to rest, I rest. If I need to skip a tour, I skip it. The world has been here for thousands of years. It will survive one less museum visit. Travel after 70 is not about proving anything. It's not about keeping up with younger tourists. It's about meaningful moments. It's about watching waves roll onto a quiet shore. It's about tasting unfamiliar food and smiling at the surprise. It's about tasting unfamiliar food and smiling at the surprise. It's about conversations with strangers who remind you that the world is bigger and kinder than the evening news suggests. Our immune systems are slower. Our joints protest. Our energy fades faster at dusk. But there is also courage in continuing to explore. I have met travelers in their 80s walking slowly but confidently through ancient streets, not rushing, not competing, simply experiencing. Age does not close the door to adventure. It simply changes the rules. So if you are over 70 and planning your next trip, don't cancel it out of fear. Just respect the 5 truths. Move often, manage stress, protect your routine, accept assistance, guard your safety and emotional well-being. Do these things, and travel can remain what it has always been, a reminder that we are alive. At 74, I don't travel to escape life. Every trip now feels precious. Every boarding pass feels like a small victory. Every return home feels like gratitude. And if one day I can no longer travel far, I will sit on my porch and remember the sound of foreign streets, the smell of ocean air, the echo of cathedral bells. But until that day comes, I will keep going, wisely, gratefully. Because growing older is inevitable. Stopping living is optional.